Hello, everyone. We are going to begin today's practice in a child's pose. If child's pose doesn't work for your knees, you can just come onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. Basically, you're in the same position, you're just on your back instead of forward on the belly and the knees. So we will work with child's pose in a couple of different ways. And actually, before we head into that, I'd like you to have a couple of props that are kind of block-like in height. So those could be hardback books, it could be a couple of couch cushions, it could be a chair or stool that's easy to move from side to side, and have those props kind of outer hips, outside of the mat. And so in this first child's pose, let's take, if you're coming belly down, let's take the knees close together and then the arms back behind us. So you'll kind of curl the chin into the chest, round forward, forehead might touch the mat, it might not. And if it doesn't touch the mat and you want a little extra support for the neck and the spine, you can slide one of those props underneath the forehead. Okay, we'll just take a few minutes, or not minutes really, but moments to start to breathe deeply here. And to the best of your ability, with the compression of the internal organs, maybe it feels harder to breathe deeply. If you can, bring your awareness to the back body. Think about breathing into that space, back rib cage, back of the lungs. Take about 3 more breaths here. Okay, and then we'll uncurl, so we'll come up to the knees. If you're on your back, you can join me here. And we'll actually stand up on the knees. And we'll take 1 foot forward, maybe it's the right foot. Just be mindful of which foot, because we're going to do this a couple of times, leading with the opposite foot. See if you can curl your back toes under, and then step the back foot forward. So you come all the way to standing at the top of the mat. And if you need to use your hands to get there, totally fine. We're going to take our hands and interlace them, and then just extend the index fingers, reach the arms overhead. And reach your fingers, your index fingers, all the way off to the right. So press down into that left foot, press your pelvis forward. Biceps are framing the ears, you're reaching the body, the fingertips off to the right. So you should feel this nice big stretch along left side rib cage. Inhale, come back through center. And then exhale, second side, fingertips off to the left, pressing down through that right foot. Feel the stretch. Feel the length, right side body. Come back through center, release the hands. So we'll come back down to that fetal position the same way we got up, just in reverse. So we'll take that left foot back, slowly lower the left knee, and then right knee back, and then hips to heels. If you need to get onto your back to do that fetal position, you can. Or not fetal position rather, but that child's pose in reverse. Or you're just curling the chin in, rounding the forehead forward to rest on a prop or the mat. 3 breaths here. Okay, we'll reverse uncurl the spine, come back up to seated and up onto the knees. So opposite foot forward this time, left foot forward. You might curl those right toes under. I think that's helpful to press down through the ball end of the back foot and then step the back foot forward. And again, you're going to interlace the fingers to the webbing, index fingers pointing up. You might, if you can remember, reverse that grip. Maybe the opposite thumb is on top. Inhale, arms overhead. This time we're going to reach the body off to the left first. Press down through that right foot. Hug your navel into your spine. So try not to dump into the low back. Keep the integrity of the core muscles intact. Come back up through center. Head off to your second side. Same thing here. Notice the kind of the desire for the lumbar spine to really want to overextend. And can you keep the pelvis, the core engaged? Inhale back through center, release the arms. That right foot's going to step back first. Take that slow ride down to the right knee. Left knee back into place. And this time, as we come back to child's pose, we'll take the knees wide and stretch the arms forward. 3 breaths here. All right, so just a little bit more lateral work before we start to move through our flow. Lift up through your chest for just a little bit and then release your right elbow down. Flip that right palm to face the ceiling and then rest your right cheek on your right bicep. Press down through the left hand. So this should feel like something along the lats, back muscles, and lateral side body of the right side. So again, right palm is facing up, thumb out. The right cheek is resting on the right bicep. The elbow and the forearm are resting on the mat, and you're pressing down through that left palm, so you're pulling your hips back towards the heels. One more breath here. And we'll change signs. So right palm down, lift up through that chest a little bit, flip your left palm up, relax the elbow and the forearm, left cheek to left bicep. Keep pressing down through that right hand. Pull the hips or press the hips back towards the heels. Let your head be heavy, the weight of the bicep. Let's take one more breath here. Good. And then come back through center, both palms face down. Inhale, forward. Bring your knees underneath your hips. Let's do a few rounds of cat-cow here. Just started to undulate the spine, make space between the vertebrae. Just signaling body that you're going to ask it to do some more work. One more round of cat and cow. Good. And then press, come back to neutral, press firmly through the entire circumference of the palm, engage your fingertips, curl your toes under, press down through the hands, lift the hips up, find downward facing dog. Relax your head here, kind of tuck your chin into your chest, maybe you even gaze back between the thighs or up at the navel. Let your heel bones get heavy. Deep, deep bend in the right knee, left leg stays towards straight. And just pause here, breathe. Change sides, so right leg straight, left knee bends deeply. Pause here and breathe. Good, and then both legs straight, both heel bones heavy. Heel bones do not have to touch the floor, but they might and they might not, and both are good, both are okay. Let's take one more breath in your downward facing dog. And then we'll inhale forward to high plank. Take a few moments here to pause in your high plank. You might shift forward and backward in your high plank, so you're kind of rolling through the ankle joint, and even a little bit of warm up for the wrist as you do this. Forward, backward. And then set the knees down. Bring your right foot forward and wide outside of your right hand. And then turn the toes off the mat, the right toes off the mat. Curl your back toes under, lift up your back knee, and then wiggle that leg back into space so it's nice and long, then set the knee back down. And so already, maybe that feels like a stretch sensation across that left hip flexor. We're gonna add on to that. Okay, so listen up, this left elbow forearm, maybe it comes to the mat. and turns off to the upper left-hand corner. So left elbow, forearm down to the mat, maybe the left fingertips off the mat to the upper left-hand corner. Now right hand is gonna reach forward, kind of off to the left as well. Press down through those right fingertips and then pull the right hip back in space. Relax your head here. So still working to open up lateral rib cage. Little stretch to the lats, that big muscle that connects the upper back to the lower back. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Heel toe that right foot towards the center of the mat. And then lift the torso, lift the chest, stretch the arms up and overhead. So you're just in this Danyarasana, this low lunge with the left knee down. Now here's where your props are going to come in handy outside of the hips. So if you didn't grab one already, go ahead and set something outside of the hips, right fingertips to that prop. Doesn't have to be a block, can be anything really that has the height. Left arm sweep it up and overhead. Maybe even bend the elbow and you can kind of cradle the side of the head with the left hand. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's release that. Hands reach up, big breath in. Exhale, hands at the top of the mat. Step back to high plank. Pause in your high plank, shift forward, backward on those toes. Press into the hands, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pause, breathe. Relax your head. Press the floor away, stay strong through the arms. Let's come back to high plank, inhale, shift forward, give yourself a few rocks, forward, backward. You can also do this with the knees down. That's where we're gonna meet anyways, so knees to the mat. Step your left foot forward and wide. Turn the toes off of the mat. Curl your back toes under, lift your back knee, wiggle that leg to a longer position, and then set the knee back down. Okay, so right elbow and forearm walks to the right, bend that elbow, set it down to the mat. Okay, so I'm at the upper right-hand corner of the mat with the upper body, right hand off the mat. Left arm, reach it long, press down through those fingertips. You're reaching towards the upper right-hand corner of the mat. So there's this lateral side body stretch to the left. Pull that left hip back, relax your head here. Inhale. Exhale. Let's come back through, palms underneath the shoulders. Heel toe that left foot to the center of the mat. Lift the torso, stretch the arms overhead. Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge with the knee down. And so second side, we're going to take that prop to the outer left hip. Left hand's going to rest on it. As your right arm reaches up and over, you might even bend the elbow of the right hand. You can hold the side of the head with the right hand. So I'm just kind of leaning off to my left with my head, letting it rest in the cradle of my hand. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Reach that right arm up, left arm follows. Reach the hands forward, plant the palms. Step back to high plank. Little bit of a rock, forward, backward. Press into those hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog, 3 breaths here. Relax your head in your down dog, let your heel bones be heavy. Stay strong in your shoulders, press the floor away. Inhale, shift forward, high plank. Set your knees to the mat, come all the way onto the belly. Walk your elbows forward underneath your shoulders, find Sphinx. You either stay here in Sphinx or bend the right knee, reach back with the right hand. Maybe you catch the ankle. You can Hold the inner ankle or outer ankle, whatever is easiest for the rotation of the shoulder. Now press the floor away with that left forearm. Kick into the right hand if you've got a hold of it. Deep breath in here. So the chest is turning towards the top of the mat. Breath out, release that. We're going to do the second side. So I like to angle my hand, my forearm across the top of my mat. Press down into that right elbow, bend the left knee, reach back. You're going to catch that same grip, whether it's inside of the ankle or out. Kick the foot into the hand if you've got it, then turn the torso forward. It's like you're trying to square the shoulders forward as you kick the foot into the hand. Deep breath here. And start to release that. Come back to that Sphinx. Inhale. Exhale. Option here to come to down dog, or if you'd like to try something a little bit different, curl your toes under, hug your navel into your spine, lift your knees and your pelvis off the mat, find a forearm plank. And from your forearm plank, if you're feeling strong, walk your feet forward, start to lift your hips up, find dolphin. Now in dolphin, breathe, relax your head. So basically this is just down dog except for you're on your forearms and your elbows. Now you can try to come up to one hand at a time, coming all the way back to downward facing dog. If you need to release your knees to do that, go ahead. So whatever way you like, meet me in downward facing dog. From your down dog, bring your big toes together to touch. We're going to take some of those elements and put them into our flow. From your down dog, inhale, right leg stretches up and back. And then exhale, shift forward, right foot plants between the hands. Spin that back foot flat, rise up to warrior two. Just take a few moments to adjust the feet so that your hips are comfortable in your warrior two. You can bend deeply into that right knee as you stretch your arms wide. Keep your legs as they are, but sweep your left arm forward. And so both arms are reaching forward, and your warrior two might start to feel more like a warrior one. Now take that left arm across the body. It's reaching across the body towards the right side. And then you're just going to pull it in. So right hand's going to pull that left arm across the body. It's like a tricep stretch, but working a little bit more with deltoids and rhomboids on the shoulder. Okay. Now we're going to take this left elbow up and overhead. You can hold it with the right hand, working a little bit more with the tricep. Deep breath in here, deep breath out. Let's release the arms, plant the palms, top of the mat, step back to high plank. If I'm going a little bit too fast for you, no worries. Take your time, pause in your high plank, press the floor away. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Rise up to Sphinx, so elbows walk forward underneath the shoulders. You're either staying in your Sphinx or you're bending your right knee. Reach back with your right hand, catch a hold of the ankle, kick the ankle into the hands, turn the chest forward. Can you find one breath here? Release that side, we'll do the second side. Bending left knee, stabilize on your right elbow and forearm, reach back with your left hand, catch a hold of the ankle, kick the foot into the hand, turn the chest forward. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Release that, come back to Sphinx. And then here's that option again. You can move back to that traditional down dog, or if you want to try this again, curling toes under, lift the pelvis first, hug the navel in, then the knees, so you're in forearm plank. And if that's feeling good in forearm plank, start to walk the feet forward as the hips rise, find dolphin. Relax your head just like you would in down dog. And then maybe you press up to one hand at a time and actually find Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Let's do the second side. So big toes touching back of the mat. Left leg stretches up and back. Exhale, left foot forward between the hands. Spin that back foot flat, rise up to warrior two. And then go ahead and adjust the feet in your warrior two so you can have that nice deep bend in your left knee as you stretch your arms wide. Okay, so Legs are staying as they are. We're going to sweep that right arm forward, forward, forward. It's reaching towards the top of the mat. Now you're going to pull it across your body with your left hand. Legs are still the same. Pause here, breathe. Now we're going to guide that right elbow up towards the ceiling with our left hand. So left hand grabs that right elbow, little tricep stretch, little lateral rib cage stretch. Deep breath in here. Keep pressing down through that right heel. Release the hands, bring them forward, top of the mat, and press your way back to high plank. Inhale. Exhale all the way to the belly. Now this time, as you come forward into Sphinx, again, the option is to stay in Sphinx. Or if you would like, maybe take both feet one at a time into Danyarasana Bow Pose. So again, I like to enter this the same way I would if I were just doing a single side. I'd bend my right knee, I'd reach back, catch a hold, find the ankle. I'd turn my torso forward, keep cooking the foot into the hand. And then I kind of let my belly and ribcage come forward a little bit. I start to bend that left knee, reach back, grab a hold of the ankle. Make sure your grip is the same on either side, whether it's inner ankle or outer ankle. There's no right or wrong there with that. It's just a different rotation with the shoulder girdle. So once you've got a hold of both feet, if that's what you're doing, kick the feet into the hands. You're rolling the weight to the low belly, just like right on top of those hip bones, lifting the chest up, kicking the feet into the hands, staying nice and strong. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then we'll release that. One at a time, come back to Sphinx. Elbows underneath shoulders. Last time through here, option. Curl the toes under. Hug the navel into the spine. Lift the pelvis first. You're still on the knees there. And then when you're feeling nice and strong in the core, lift the knees up. From there, you can choose to lift the hips, walk the feet forward if you like. Dolphin, relax your head. So if you feel inhibited in dolphin a lot, if you've tried it and you feel like there's something stuck in my rib cage, there's something stuck in my back body, usually there's a couple of things going on. There's the lats that might be tight, that need to be lengthened. The whole shoulder girdle, deltoids, rhomboids, the ability to rotate the scapula away from the spine and press out with the elbows. So all of that lateral side bod stuff that we did, super helpful to find that length. If you're still in dolphin, press up to your hands, find downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, we're gonna slow it down here, cool the body down. So walk the feet forward, crossing at the ankles, come all the way down onto the back. Bend the knees, roll onto your back body. Let's take that right ankle, place it on top of the left thigh. Just a simple figure four in your back. You can stay right here with figure four. You can hug it closer into the chest. You can interlace your hands behind that left thigh or on top of the left shin. Can you keep relaxing your shoulders and your neck? Two more breaths here. So if you hug the figure four into your chest, we're going to release that left foot back to the mat, but you're going to keep the cross of that right ankle on top of the left thigh. Keep your figure four. Heel toe your left foot across your mat a few inches, even bump the hips to the right a few inches. And then tip that figure four to the left. So you're taking the outer edge of the left leg to the mat, sole of the right foot to the mat. You're just turning that figure four off to the left side. You might stretch out your arms from here. If you want a little bit more for lateral side body stretch. You can take that left hand down, maybe catch a hold of the right ankle as the right arm reaches up and overhead, bicep alongside the ear. And so a traditional twist with a little bit different intention, different focus. The same idea of relaxing into the sensation, breathing deep into the belly. And just pause here. I'll take 3 more breaths. All right, so now we're going to unwind, come back through center. So the back of the pelvis is flat. Uncross the ankle, and in between sides, let's hug those knees into the chest. Keep your feet parallel. You might grab a hold of your opposite wrists or forearms or even opposite elbows. Just give yourself a nice big squeeze. Breathe into that compression. Now release the feet, reset. Left ankle crosses to the right thigh. Left knee out to the left side. You can stay here with the right foot on the mat, or you can hug all of that into the chest, reaching through, maybe interlacing the hands around the back of the thigh or top of the shin, your choice. But pay attention to the shoulders and the neck, the throat. Is all of that relatively relaxed? Or are you really straining and reaching to hug this in? Maybe just back it off a little bit today. Find the breath here. Okay, so if you hug that whole figure 4 arrangement into the chest, release the hands, right foot back to the mat. We're going to heel toe the right foot off to the left, maybe even bump the hips off to the left, and then take that figure 4 off to your right. So outer right leg relaxes, sole of the left foot to the floor. The arms can just simply stretch out wide, or if you want a little bit more lateral work, right hand can reach down to ankle, to left ankle, left arm reaches overhead. If you really have to strain and compress to get to the hand to ankle bind, maybe you just skip it and you find a little bit more rest, a little bit more relaxation in the body here for these last few moments of class. Let's take 3 more breaths here in this twist with a different intention, a different focus. And we'll start to unwind. When you're ready, you'll come back through. Uncross the ankles, maybe give yourself another big hug of the knees into the chest, or you could take it towards happy baby if you like, or any other final shape, shifting or movement that you're craving. Anything that feels left undone. And then when you're ready for Shavasana, we'll head there. We're going to take 1 whole minute in our Shavasana to just rest, be silent, be still. Tucking the shoulders underneath the back, slightly tilting the chin in towards the chest, stretching out. Deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale, let it go. Let it rest here. Shavasana. If you have more time to spare in your day, stay longer. If you need to move on, stretching the arms overhead, breathing in, and then exhaling, rolling off to a side for fetal position. One full breath cycle here. Pressing to an upright seat. Feel free to slide anything underneath the sits bones that allows your spine to grow tall as you sit up, placing your hands flat against your heart, bowing the chin into your chest. Taking a moment here to honor your effort and your practice with reverence and gratitude. May you use the fruits to serve your highest good, reach your highest potential. Share it with those around you that you love and who could use healing. Together we send love and healing to all sentient beings around the world that may be suffering. May they be happy. May they be free. Namaste, yogis. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed your practice. Take care of yourselves and come back again soon.